to the. Oh wow. Hey, so I wasn't gonna hop in early because TJ wasn't gonna be here, but he's gonna jump in. So let me acknowledge you guys. Colin, Ops One Zilla's here. CRX expert. Mike Gorski's here. What's up? What's up, Matt? Nice talking to you earlier today. Pat, Southeast Vintage Cycle Rescue. Let's see. Let's see. You guys are talking. West Michigan Motorsports is here. Hoorah. Shredding Wheelers. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. Glenn Moulton's here. I wasn't going to cancel because, it's nice to see you guys here. Watching from North Carolina. What's up, Glenn? That sounds fun. Curdy's here. Hey, Kim. Dave Stollard's here. My wife's here. Okay, I'm current. So yeah, I just got a text message from TJ, and he goes, "Oh, I'm home." I told him I had made updates and I changed the thumbnail. What's up, Derek? What's up, Michael? What's up, Gary? I changed the thumbnail. I did all the things, and he's like, "Well, shoot." And I was like, "You want to run it? Let's run it. We'll keep it loose." Donnie Haggerty from Iowa's here. I said Donnie from Iowa's going to be here. He wants to see what things are all about. Darletta says hi. Nicholas Adam. MC 1173. Remind me what your name is, sir. He's got a YouTube channel too. Check him out. He's done a 350X. You're doing what? Is it an 83 Big Red right now? Jeff Mahar's here. Max Speed Shop is in the house. Uh-oh. I was thinking TJ was going to be on. We didn't do our practice. So TJ, TJ works for the DOT, or there was an accident that he had to help flag for, and they apparently got it cleaned up in time for him to be here. And we're just waiting. And I don't have my other phone on me to communicate with him. How do I sound? Nobody's complaining, so I must sound all right. I was just cleaning in here a little bit. While we're waiting, I guess maybe I'll show you what's going on the other side of the camera. Thanks, Matt. I was sorting some freshly plated hardware, and this batch didn't come out as good as previous batches. And if you've watched my videos, I really spent a lot of time prepping this. And I don't remember sending anything out that had that much rust in it. So I don't know what the heck happened. Maybe it took so long to get it plated that it rusted. And these have still rust on the inside. No one's going to see that. Okay, MC 1173's name is Steve. So, yeah, you see, we had a bunch of stuff done. There's the knuckle for the kicker. I went with clear zinc, mainly because yellow zinc, I see it sometimes it comes out so yellow that I'm going to message TJ. It comes so yellow that it's almost too yellow. I've said this before. Let me message him. This is a mess of parts that have come in. I had a Serwa tire put on a 86 350X rim. These are forks from Johnny Angel. This is a 190 motor. Oh, here's the guy himself. Holy smokes. Oh, let me get back. It's time. He's here. He's here. Everybody keep it cool. Keep it cool. Order of the week. All right, here we go. Where is he? TJ, try it again. I don't know what I did. Hmm. Lifty 550. Oh, we got to get the Haspin update. 63 degrees with rain, 23-mile-an-hour winds, chance of high winds and severe thunderstorms through the evening. My truck's at 82 degrees on the way home. It didn't feel like 82. Here he is, but it was warm for sure. There he is. Yes.
How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Good.
Okay, now this is the part of the live where people will comment and make sure we sound good, because sometimes I sound good to you and you sound good to me, but they're
Okay.
like, no, TJ sounds like Darth Vader. But
Okay.
you look handsome as ever. Wow. Jeez.
Thank you. You too.
So of all the people that we've had on Hoarder of the Week, I think TJ has the prettiest eyes. And I mean that, man to man. We're just saying. If you've never seen
I
his eyes in
appreciate that.
person. Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yep. Everybody, okay. Both are clear. We're nailing it so far. How was the accident? I told him you were flagging for an accident.
It was all the children were fine. It was a long accident, school bus and a motorcycle. And the New York State Police had to conduct an investigation, and that kind of takes a little while. They've got to reenact kind of how it played out, and just got wrapped up right in the nick of time. So
Nice. Did the motorcycle driver survive?
as of right now, I hope so. I believe so,
Okay.
but I'm uncertain.
Okay. Well, enough of that. You know why we're here?
I do.
I like to tell everybody.
I lost to your mother, and you being the
Okay,
honorable
well,
guy
let's
you are.
acknowledge that. Okay, so we'll start by saying, because some people might have wandered in here and don't know what's going on. This is the result of a poll that we run weekly or mostly weekly on Honda Hoarders, which is a Facebook group for people that are Honda enthusiasts. You may or may not hoard if you're in the group, but you like the idea of hoarding, unless you're one of those guys that gets in there and then complains about all the people that are driving up the price of Hondas by holding them. Anyway, TJ was in the running. I put a theme on it this week. ATC 70 related hoarders or people affiliated with ATC 70s. And you were in there, and Gordon Spangler was in there, and Vinny Staffa added my mother. He's trying to make amends. He offended my mother. And so that was an olive branch he was trying to do. So Gordon was off to an early lead. You were out first. You had the whole shot, as you normally do. You're TJ Smith. You were probably letting Gordon, stretch his legs a little bit. So I reached out to Gordon and said, "Hey, just letting you know, you're out ahead right now." And he didn't want to. He was a little shy. We'll say that. And so he asked to be removed. So I removed him. And then my mother, out of nowhere, shot past you, and she's got nothing to do with 70s. Her only affiliation with 70s was she's picked up an 85 70 for me in Tennessee and drove it home in her back of her SUV. And then my first Christmas special I bought, she went and met the shipper for me and brought that home. So she does have some low level ATC 70 affiliation. So anyway, but you are the second runner up, but first place. They didn't finish. That's what we said earlier. They didn't finish the race. You finished the
I've
race.
got a knack for getting the whole shot and then hanging back and waiting and then attacking the last minute. So it worked out.
Yep. And that was kind of what Dale Earnhardt would do on occasion. So, and there is a resemblance. So anyway, you're here. Hoarder of the Week. Let's get started. What do you say?
Sounds good.
Full name, sir.
Taylor J. Smith.
Taylor J. Smith. TAYLOR.
LER.
Ler, Taylor. See, that's why we clarify. Taylor J. Smith. Age
36.
36. You're late mid 30s.
Midlife.
How does it feel to be 36?
Excuse me?
How does it feel to be 36?
Oh, man, it was like, well, when I was 34 or 35, I hit a wall and I got fat, got old, got achy. I feel it in my legs and knees and back every day. Um, so I definitely understand what everybody's talking about when you get into your mid 30s and you hit that. You
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're not 20 anymore.
Yeah. You don't bounce like you used to.
No.
When I met you, I think it was at Kaplan's. Was that the first time I met you in 2019?
I believe it was. Yeah, it was at the compound.
No, because you came to Trike Fest in 19. So that was June.
Oh, you know what? That might have been it. Yeah, I think that is actually when we met in Indiana.
Yep. So were you in your 30s then or your 20s then? Would you have been 29 in June of 19?
I'm gonna go with it. It's quick math. I'm about to
Sounds
be 37 at end of this week. So,
so you were
uh,
30,
yeah,
I think. Okay.
we're right there.
Glenn Moulton says mid 40s are not great. So
I
yeah. Things
I got
things
that to
start
look forward.
changing.
Yeah.
You're like, how come I'm going to the gym, but it's not responding like it once did? So anyway. Okay, 36. That's awesome. That's a wonderful age. Location, where about you located?
I live in upstate New York. I call it South Central because if you were to look at the state, it is the south part of the state, centrally located in a small town called Oxford, New York.
Okay. Now, you did say the word upstate. So
Yeah.
I consider, if you take the New York State Thruway, that kind of divides north and south. Like I
Mhm.
consider
90?
upstate, yeah, 90. I'd say upstate is above 90.
I
But
would say then you're from downstate as well.
for where I am,
I believe so.
no, I'm north of 90.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Just
See,
barely.
but then there's uh the North Country, which the people are a little weird up there. If you're from the North Country, I apologize, but it's kind of true. So at least it's not Poughkeepsie. We can all agree on that.
Yeah, it's a few hours northwest of that. I definitely
Yeah.
consider it upstate. And I emphasize that when I tell people.
Yeah. Are you near the Finger Lakes?
Um, I
Are
am
you
like
east
within
of
an
there?
hour, hour and a half.
East?
Yes, southeast.
Okay. Okay, so I didn't say this. So they're commenting down below. I don't know if you're like seeing the comments and stuff. They're gonna chat amongst themselves and make funny jokes, and they're gonna talk about this dining room table that I haven't built yet, and a whole bunch of stuff. And we're just gonna ignore them. And then when let's see, they're talking about ages and who's the oldest bogey in the room.
Yeah, Oxford
But
is middle state.
but we're gonna open up the questions from the peanut gallery at the end. So if you have a question for TJ, just hang in there, and we'll get to it. Okay. Job. What do you do for a job, sir?
I work for the New York State Department of Transportation.
Did you just get a phone call?
No,
Okay. You went mute there a little bit. You work for what?
the New York State Department of Transportation.
Okay. And that plays into where you were tonight. How
Yes.
long you been doing that?
I've been there 10 years.
Yeah? You like it?
It's okay.
Okay. Gets the job done.
Yeah.
What about your relationship status?
I am married, happily married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some people you can just tell are really happily married. And you guys you feel the love right through the screen. You know, it's
Yeah,
the eyes. I think it's a lot to do with the eyes.
it might be. I don't know. I got lucky.
Yep. And you've been together a long time.
Well, we've been together since We met in 2016, and we've been married since
Oh,
2018.
I thought it was longer than that. Well, that's still.
No,
When'd you get married? 18?
yep, 2018.
Yeah. Awesome. And you got any kids?
I have 2 daughters, one
Yep.
7-year-old and one 2-year-old.
How's that going?
It is going well. I am
Yep.
blessed.
Yeah.
It's
Daddy's
a
girls?
journey. What's that?
Are they daddy's girls?
Um, the younger one definitely is.
Yeah.
The older one is finally starting to realize that I'm okay and I got some cool toys and she might be interested. So
Yeah. And what did I just see a video? You guys were all out in the shop cleaning carburetors?
yeah, that was my wife and I. We were cleaning a carburetor, yeah, on a
Yeah.
pressure washer.
Yeah. Can she do that by herself, or is that she was learning?
Well, she's still learning the ropes. She's trying to figure out how to go about it without getting electrocuted by the ultrasonic cleaner.
Oh, is that a threat? Is that you got
It
some janky wiring in there? Or?
Not at all. It just makes that funny noise when you turn it
Yeah.
on, and I kinda was playing a joke on her and had her believing she should touch the solution.
Yeah. That's
She
funny.
fell for it.
All right. Okay, so now that's the about you part as it pertains to life and whatnot. But let's talk about
Okay.
Hondas. How did you become a Honda hoarder? Now I know you said you know you're not holding a hoard right now, but you're an enthusiast.
Well, it all started probably back in 2016. I went to the local track near me, and, I saw these guys racing ATC 70s, and I was excited about it, and I thought
Yeah.
I could probably run with these guys. So the next week, I went back with my clapped out ATC 70 with a Beat 125 in it, wearing overalls and stock tires, and I got killed on the track. They absolutely slaughtered me, and, I come from a long line of racing, so I wasn't gonna give up, and, went back to the drawing board and made some changes, and I was much better the second time. I became hooked, and then I got introduced to the Honda Hoarder group and, started finding some machines, just kind of fell in love with trikes, and I've always had pit bikes and little mini scooter bikes and big
Yeah.
enduros and
Are any of those guys that were racing when you first started, are they still racing?
my good old buddy Dan Henning is, and occasionally I can get my old buddy Justin Pruitt from Virginia up to go on an adventure, but a lot of new faces. Um, some guys are still doing it, and it's really grown all over the country. But it was always so tough to get.
Uh-oh. Did we freeze? Can you guys still okay, you can still hear me? Let's give him a minute. I think my Wi-Fi is still on this phone, this other phone. I'm gonna shut that off. TJ, can you hear me? Okay, I'm good. We got some weather going on up here, so I wonder if that's got something to do with it. We'll just hold a little space for him. Uh, anyone in the comments got any recommendations on where to send a seat for new foam and recovered? Greg, there's a woman named Tammy Mosier at Cosmic Quads. She's really nice. I've got a seat over there on the counter that she did for me. If you can see that 350X seat over there. My side is spot on. Thank you, Pat. He'll be back, I hope. Maybe. Let's see. We have to pay our internet bill. We're paid up. I don't know what's going on. All right, Donnie. Good seeing you. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, over there, I was showing you some parts before. What's the silver frame up there? Okay, I'll turn this around. Can I see comments when I turn it around? Yeah, I can. Okay, so the silver frame on the right is an 86 250R. Next to that is an 85 250R. Next to that, oh, here he is. He's back.
I'm sorry, we are having some severe thunderstorms right now,
That's
and
what I said. We're having some weather.
yeah.
So you were talking about Justin Pruitt and some of those guys, but sounds like some people have got out, maybe aren't doing it anymore. I don't know if they've gotten out of it, but
Yep. Some old dogs are still kicking around, and a lot of young new talent, which makes me happy. And a lot of
yeah.
guys all over the country, little pop-up scenes in California and the Midwest, and so
Where's that barn where you guys go? What is it? Battle in the barn or something like that? Uh-oh. The weather. uh he'll be back. So I'll do this while we're waiting. So then right to left, the silver 86 250R, 85 250R. So I'm going to put a takeout motor in that 85 250R and try to make it nice. And the middle red frame is an 85 350X that belongs to my buddy Doug Chamberlain. I'll call you out right here on the live. You should get down here and we can put that together for you. Power is flickering, he said. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me text him from this phone. You're there.
it's hit or
It's flicked.
it's anything could happen.
Okay.
You were asking where that barn was?
Yeah. That's like out
That
in
that's in Iowa.
Midwest,
It's in
Iowa.
Jacob Center. Yep, in Des Moines, Iowa.
And you've raced there once or twice or
Twice. I won the first time I went out, and the second time I went out, I came home with my tail between my legs. I had a lot of mechanical failures.
okay. Yeah. Now is it safe to say you win a lot?
I used to. I don't race three wheelers as much as I'd like to anymore because I
Yeah.
tuned to cars, and I've been focusing a lot on that.
Yeah. Are you as good at racing cars as you are three wheelers?
I definitely do not win as much. The talent is a lot more. So,
Okay. Yeah. It I don't know. How often are you racing?
weekly,
Yeah.
a
You ever race?
couple times.
Okay. You ever race at Fonda?
I have not, but I've been to Fonda. They don't run my class at Fonda.
What type of car is it?
It is a 600 modified.
Okay. That's not a sprint car, is it?
It is like a sprint car. There's mini sprints that are just like this, just a slightly different body style.
Okay. Does it get your blood pumping? Is it
I
exciting?
love it. It's
Yeah.
very exciting. It's dangerous.
Yeah. Do people get hurt?
Unfortunately, they do. The class seems to be prone to fires. We've got
Oh wow.
fuel lanes that run right up next to the cockpit, and for some reason, they tend to catch fire. I've seen a few bad ones.
Wow. Well, shoot. When did you start doing that?
I want to say probably COVID 2020.
Yeah. And you raced, you said your family raced prior to 2016, but you
Yeah.
hadn't.
I'm third generation. My grandfather raced, my father raced, all of my uncles raced. I've got a cousin that's been doing it his whole life, and I was fortunate enough to finally get a ride 5 years ago. So
Yeah.
I'm living
Awesome.
living the dream.
Awesome. Enjoy it. Do it while you can, because like you see, time,
Yeah.
nobody gets out alive. So
Yeah.
uh what about when you were a kid? Did you have ATVs or anything then?
I had go karts, and That's my, I guess,
Shoot.
I never really had anything until my late teens.
Uh-huh.
I got a dirt bike and rode that around and pit bikes. And I think my first three wheeler was a 110.
Uh-huh.
A lot of fun with that. I loved that thing. That would go that low range. You
Yeah.
put that down in low range and go up these. I live like in a bowl, and so I've got some pretty steep, gnarly hills all around me, and that was the time of my life back then,
Yeah.
creeping up those hills.
Remember when your dad was coming up that hill at Trike Fest and the front wheel
Yeah,
came off the ground and we were within arm's reach, me and TJ, and it was gonna go south bad, but it
yeah,
didn't.
yeah. You saved him. You saved his life that day because that was a very steep hill. We were at the tippy top, and if you didn't reach out and grab that front end,
Yeah.
that would have been a bad day.
And he had his girlfriend on the back and she wanted to get off and he's like, "No, you stay right there." That was probably
It
the
was
reason he was.
his cousin, but yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was funny. Well, I'm glad it worked out that way. It wouldn't have been funny otherwise.
no,
Um, so you grew up on the 110. You had the 70 at the time that you saw the racing going on. So you've had machines in and around that time.
yeah. The funny thing about that 70 was I did end up that was my first and only 70 when I still had it when I witnessed the racing, and I ended up having to sell that thing once, and I had to pay rent in this crappy old trailer I was living. It was freezing in the winter and had to pay rent, so that thing went down the road, and my good buddy Steve Normandin actually ended up with it. I think Mike Shipman had it for a while, and it made its way all over the Northeast. But I uh, I saw it pop up probably on Honda Hoarders, and I noticed the seat cover. I had put a red bandana over the cushion before I put the seat cover on it, and there was a rip in the seat cover, and I saw the red bandana, and I was like,
Ah,
man. And there it was, my first trike, and I made a deal with Steve and ended up getting it back and redid it, and sits
and
in the
that's the one you
garage.
raced?
It's not. It's
Okay,
just it just is one I redid and it's sitting in the garage.
perfect. And tell us about the one you race. What are some of the specs on it?
Um well, it's got a Daytona 190 four valve.
Hmm.
It's got a CRF 50 tank and a custom seat. I put a custom axle on it that I am part of designing. Some of you may know it. It's the Smith Pro axle, and that really gave me a huge advantage on the circle track. It's a fast bike.
Yeah. Is your Daytona e-start or kickstart or pull start or
It is a FDX kickstart 4 speed.
okay? What does FDX mean? Is this
That is a great question. It's
okay?
not. It doesn't have a lighting stator. There's
Gotcha.
yeah. There's a bunch of different versions of the Daytona, but I've got the good one.
Okay. So I just bought one from Gordon. And it's pull. Well, I bought the pull start conversion. Is that a good one, or should I have?
Is it a 5 speed or 4 speed?
And I don't know.
I bet you it's a 5 speed, and that's going to be a lot to pull over. Don't break your arm.
Okay.
I
I
don't.
thought.
I'm not gonna talk out of line about Daytonas. They're the 5 speeds are a lot different than the 4 speeds. At one point, they were a Japanese engine, I believe, and then a Chinese engine. And
Okay.
as far as I know, the 5 speeds are the same bottom end as the ZS 190s, and it's a lot different quality of a product. And it all depends on what you're doing. They're all good until they're broke.
Okay. Yeah, he steered me away from the electric start because sometimes the starter chains become a
Yeah,
problem. So okay.
right.
So you mentioned your axle.
Yes.
So tell us what this magical axle is. So maybe there's some people that are watching now or gonna watch this that might be interested in reaching out to you to get one.
The axle is the key to speed on the track. You
I saw that
You
in the background.
you put that puppy on, and you put some cart tires on it, and you can hammer the corners way faster than you could with a stock setup. It generally goes on the right side. It adds about 6 inches of length to that right side. You can increase or decrease that with a wheel with offset. Um, you can put a spacer on it if you're brave. I probably wouldn't recommend it if you're racing, but that was the ticket to being able to compete against 250Rs and 350Xs and all these big bikes, the Tri-Zs. If you were put on a smaller bullring oval, you could easily compete with them.
Yeah. Now, so when you first came out with that, were people like getting all up in your business? Were accusing you of not playing fairly?
No, but there
Okay.
was there was some skeptics out there, some old hoarder admins, maybe, I don't know, but there was definitely some
Oh,
skeptics that helped fuel my passion to prove the axle, and
yeah.
I, as far as I know, everything's good with the axles. I haven't really had any negative feedback, and I always tell people to, if they're interested in them, to ask the community because I'm the guy that makes them. I'm a little biased, I think it's a
Yeah.
great product. Um, it is tough to make a product, a racing product that makes everybody happy, that anybody can put on and install, and it can perform at those high RPMs and not have any issues. But
Yeah.
we changed the design over a couple years and made it better. And the guys that recognize the part bought them, and
Yeah.
everybody seems to like them.
So Jerry Short's asking what the axle called. What's it's called? The Smith Pro
That's
axle.
it. The Smith Pro axle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
don't.
if
I
you want,
don't. I don't have a website. You can find me on Honda Hoarders or Mini Trike Racer or really any of those little 70 pages, and shoot me a PM if you're interested. I can give you more information or pictures or whatever. And
yeah. Glenn Moulton says, "Take my money." Did you know about this, Glenn? Do you have one of these? He races with cart tires down in Bobtown. There's a little,
oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I've
That's
been
a
waiting to
small
get.
track though.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. It's indoor. It's cool. I see the videos, and it makes me happy to see all those people in the same spot. But I thought that somebody might invite me, and I've never got the invite. So
Really?
it
Well,
is what it is.
yeah. They're scared. They don't want to lose.
Well,
So
it's even down there. It looks like everybody's got stock suspensions. Yeah, I think actually one guy went there with a Smith Pro and he had to take it off. So they don't
uh,
like going that fast, I guess.
okay, yeah. So what's it do? It just threads on to the end of your axle.
Yeah, it basically you would take off your factory hub and your factory spacer that goes between the hub and the brake drum, and you would put on the spacer that I give you, the sleeve, and then it threads right onto the existing threads at the end of your axle, just like a nut. And
Mhm.
I put a tire on it so I can really crank it on super tight, and it's got two little holes in the extension portion of it, and they're threaded, so you can get it cranked on really tight, mark those two hole locations, and take it back off. And you can either grind a flat or you can drill two small holes and tighten that baby back on and set these two set screws in it, and you're good to go.
Mhm.
It's not going to
That's
spin
cool.
off.
I've got a 70 axle sitting down next to me, so I was looking at it for reference. But well, awesome. And then probably you saw more of these than your axle extensions. The stretch.
Yes.
So the infamous 3-inch stretch, or there's probably what, one and a half, two, three, four.
Well, it's actually nice that we're on this channel so I can clarify it for a lot of people, but I the 3 inch is the go-to for sure, but there's always people that want a 2 inch or smaller, inch and a half, whatever. And I always tell everybody, I'll sell you a 3 inch extension. And when you go to make the cut on your frame, if you want a 2-inch stretch, simply cut 1 inch out of your existing frame and then install the 3-inch. That way, you'd have more internal coverage and more structural integrity rather than if I made a custom shorter piece.
That's
And
smart.
that way you can use, if you decide you need like 2 and 5/16, any number you can
Right.
eyeball it and make it whatever you want up to 3 inches with that piece. Or I can make longer ones if that's what you're after.
Yep. So Max Speed Shop says how much for a 70 axle? He's meaning the extension though.
They are 215 shipped nationwide, and
Okay.
they have a hub built on. It's the 3x2.5 cart pattern, the common cart wheel. So
Mhm.
all you'd have to do is get a cart hub for your left side, and you'd be good to go.
Yep. And your extensions are
The frame extensions are
yeah.
55 shipped nationwide. Um, and as long as steel doesn't go up too much, the price shouldn't really change. Anything over 3 inches, the price varies on the length.
Okay. Awesome. Well, hopefully you'll see some new friends in your inbox. How many Hondas do you currently own?
I have 4 trikes and I have 3 bikes. That's what I got now.
Can you tell us about them?
Yeah, I
Yes.
can. I've got a big green, a big red. It's
Yeah.
dark green. I've got some cool parts on that. It's a stock engine. It's got a cool Honda Speedo on it. It's got some Bark Busters. My old pal Dustin Bartley sold me. It's got a custom front rack welded by Dan Henning. That
Ooh.
was a hot ticket. I was lucky to get that. He only made a couple of them. It's got a cool Yoshi pipe on it and a JR Trike Sports header pipe that's pretty snotty.
Mhm.
Some stump guards, and it's a workhorse. I use it to work. I drag wood with it, pull a trailer around, and it's just a good workhorse.
Mhm.
I've got my Race 70, which I just told you about. My first 70 that it just sits out there. Someday, hopefully, my daughter show interest in it,
Yeah.
or it's
What year
going
is
down the
that
road
one?
again. It's an 82.
Mhm.
And I've got a 200S that's got some work done to it.
You still got I was wondering if you still had that.
Yeah, I do. It was being raffled off forever and ever, and the winner didn't want to come get it, so made me an offer to buy it back, and I did, and I'm glad I did. It's a really fun bike. I could have used the money at the time I put it up for sale, but it took so long that it is what it is, and it's still in the garage. It's a stupid fast bike.
CRF 230?
It is a 230. It's got the big bore on it, so it's a 250. It's got a s- sweet Kevlar clutch from. God, I can't even think of the company. I can't think of it. I'm drawing a blank, but
Yeah.
it's fast. It's a 6-speed E-Start, heavily modified. It's got a cam in it and
Yeah.
nice T3 Pro Circuit pipe on it. I built it because I was racing mini trikes against the 250Rs and the 350Xs, and there was a couple sour guys. They didn't like getting beat on that little China 70, and
Mhm.
so they said I can't play anymore unless I have a full size trike. So I went with the smallest full size trike
Yeah.
I could find, and
That's great.
it, it's a fun bike.
Glenn is asking if your front rack on your big green is the same one that Dustin Bartley put on his 350D Big Red that I now own, and it is. I believe so, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So Glenn was trying to buy that off me at one of my events, and I said I'd sell it, but maybe I don't want to now, knowing how rare they are. So
I just see Shredding Wheeler said Hinson. It's not. It's a Barnett. It just came to me. Barnett
Okay.
Cluck.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. I love it. And you're like you were downplaying what you had. Those are it's a stout collection. It might not be, a barn full,
Well,
but
it's not a barn full, but they are good pieces.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Kim's asking, you still spank the people on the 200S?
Sometimes I did. I did take it to a few places and whip on them, and then I've also been beat on it. I raced the indoor ice series a little bit, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But that one never left me hanging. It's always been a very stout machine. I never really enjoyed riding it as much as the 70s. It was just like a piece that I put together just so I could
Hmm.
prove myself. I guess
Yeah.
that like I
Shut
still
some
beat
people
me.
out.
Yeah.
You got to do that sometimes. It's important. Okay. We talked about your old hunt. Did you ever sell one that you regret? That 70 that you bought back? You kind of expressed some.
I sold a couple blue 110s. I wish I still had those. There's nothing special about them, but they were just clean and nice. And those are,
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't really regret anything, I guess. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. Mm. What's your favorite?
Well, it would be Blackie Chan, my Racing 70.
That's the name?
Blackie
Blackie
Chan.
Chan? I like
That's right.
that.
Yeah.
Do you make like karate noises when you pass people? Well,
I don't know. I don't know why that Trike got that name, but it did, and it stuck with it, and it's funny. So
yeah. So Kim asks if you're coming to Trike Fest.
I always want to come to Trike Fest, but this racing thing is so time consuming. And if you race or know a racer, if you're serious about what you do, it's just a major commitment and it's tough to take time away because points, you need points to win
Mhm.
these little trophies. And that's what it's all about for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I went to Trike Fest and it was a great time. I had so much fun. I brought way too many machines, 2 trucks, a camper. It was crazy. And I also went there and did what I said I was going to do. I went there to prove on the circle track in front of all those Trike Fest guys that my axle is good and I'm the fastest guy in a 70. And I did that.
Yeah. Awesome. Mic drop. Kim, those are not the two blue 70s that I bought at Trike Fest. That was from uh Mayfield. What's his name? Having a brain fart. Anyway, well, we miss you at Trike Fest. It's a lot different now that Ryan and Kevin have Ryan and Scott have whipped things into shape and they've
Yeah.
changed some stuff. It's better than it was. What do you do in your spare time? What's your favorite non Honda pastime? Is it racing? It's probably racing. We've talked a lot about it.
I do enjoy racing. I really love it. I used to go to the track and watch racing when I wasn't racing. But I also enjoy hanging out with my family, watching my kids do stupid shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm
My
simple life.
they grow up fast. My boys are dudes now and my daughter's a young lady, so it's wild to watch that all happen. Do you have any secret talents?
No,
No. You
no,
don't like play the harmonica
no.
or okay. You're not good at
Um,
like axe throwing.
I used to be good at cornhole and beer pong way back in the day. I think I
Mhm.
played with your daughter at Dan's wedding, and we
Yes.
made a pretty good team.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
What year was that? That was 21?
Yeah, maybe. I don't want to get it wrong. Sorry,
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah, sorry.
But it,
I don't remember
it was
either. I
it was a good
officiated the
time.
wedding. I can't remember. That's funny. That was a good time. Was that Justin Pruitt that was at the table? with us? There was
No,
another. What was his name? He was one of the boys.
I must have been Paulie Crambo.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a fun time.
I think
Beautiful,
I hear
beautiful spot
I
up
hear,
there.
I hear my wife in the background giving me the answer. She said the wedding was in 2022.
2022. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dan Henning is the guy that makes the reproduction Honda trailers and the
Yeah.
rack that Glenn Moulton doesn't own. And
Yes.
so he got married and he asked me to officiate his wedding. I did 2 weddings that year, 2 3-wheeler weddings, him and Jeff Mahar, who's down in the comments. So
That's
that was a
awesome.
good year. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's your spirit animal?
That is a weird question. I never
Yeah.
thought of that.
Do you hear any answers from the back room?
Honey, what's my
Squirrel.
spirit animal?
We'll come back to it. When she figures it out, we'll come back to it.
All right. Next question.
Are they ever going to find any treasure on Oak Island?
No.
Okay. Pancakes or waffles?
Both. It depends on the day.
Okay. All right. We'll take that. Crunchy peanut butter or creamy peanut butter?
Creamy for the most part.
Okay. What's sad, Jeff? I don't remember seeing any trikes at mine, though. Yeah. Dan had trikes at his wedding, but Jeff had 0 trikes at his wedding.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But both were a great time.
Is he not going to ask you pizza or cheeseburgers?
He's getting there.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad she said that. I did not write that down. There's a good chance I might.
Yeah.
So, have outside of my event in 2020, before it was my event, that was the last year. It was just a bunch of guys getting together, pushing my stuff around. Have you stolen any cheeseburgers since then?
I can't say I have. None of
Okay.
them looked as tempting.
And so, all right, now we'll explain. So before I had my event, which you still haven't been to because I keep planning it on your race weekend. So
And I got to say thank you because you always do reach out and you try to accommodate my schedule. And it's
Yeah.
like you invite hundreds of people, but you specifically reach out and try to accommodate. And I feel like an ass because I'm always like, yep. And then I'm like, nope.
Yep.
But
Kinda
I'm
like
going to
tonight.
try. I'm going to try to make it this
Yep.
year.
It's okay. Whatever happens, happens. But what has happened is it's evolved into a multi-day event now. So Friday is like a hangout day. So if you can spare
That's a strong possibility.
yep. So people start rolling in on Thursday. And so the party night has now become Thursday night, and Friday is just a hangout day, and Saturday is where we fool around and then we give out trophies and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. So before that, the last year when I did the Honda Wing layout, you came. Were you there before that at any point? Did you come up before that?
No, I think that was my first year.
Yeah. And so in the group chat or whatever, I think you were saying you were just going to come up for the hamburgers. And then my buddy Todd was videoing everything, and he made a cool video about it and put you on the spot saying, I'm just here for the cheeseburgers or whatever. And then you had to leave early, and we had to make you a special morning cheeseburger to play into the video. So it was fun.
It was early, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. I still really enjoy cheeseburgers. I always get cheeseburgers at the track before I race, and I never regret a cheeseburger.
Yep. Well, you show up and the cheeseburgers are on me.
Sweet.
All right. I don't know. I don't want to make them this any longer than it needs to be. If you've got a question from the standard questions that I sometimes ask, you can specifically ask for it. Do you have any nicknames?
TJ.
Outside of TJ? That's it.
Some of the race guys called me the Intimidator when I raced, but I probably gave that to myself, and then it maybe stuck. I don't know.
Tell them to call me the Intimidator.
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
Okay. I'm gonna open up the questioning to the peanut gallery. We got 63 people here. It's a little light because I might have called off the troops and didn't announce that this was happening, but it's a more intimate crowd tonight. We got the core people here. Does he believe in Tricycle Guy's prototype story? So Alan Spencer beat Tricycle Guy to his own question. Do you know what the prototype story is?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Okay, so you don't watch all Tricycle Guy's videos, and that's okay. You don't have to. But he's got what appears to be the prototype, one of the prototype ATC 250Rs. There's things on it that predate 1981. There are designs that show up in some of the literature that were out before the machines, but you look at a factory machine and it doesn't have things like that are in the literature. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on. So we'll give you a pass on that question, but it's a cool,
What do you
unique
think?
machine. I think it is.
I mean,
there's some pictures that have showed up from a guy named, he's going to correct me, Rodney Schendenhelm, who's from out west. He's got pictures from a Honda show, like a dealer show, when they're announcing the 1981 models. And Rodney Schendenhelm, I got it. But in the back, so they're showing the 81 ATC 70, the 81 this, the 81 that, and then they had 4 or 5 ATC 250Rs that weren't stock. One was set up for dunes, one was set up for drag racing, one was set up for ice racing, one was set up for long distance or something like that. And the one that was set up for ice racing had blue anodized aluminum wheels, the same paint scheme on the tank, very unique paint scheme that shows up in Tricycle Guy's machine, which was, according to lore from previous owners, used for ice racing. So the theory is after that show that might have escaped control of Honda and got out into the wild and ended up in his garage in Pennsylvania. So the secret underground layer. It's pretty
that's
neat.
pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
But he's had it up here, so if you come up, you'll get a chance to see it.
Okay.
And we're gonna put it next to the crated 250R, so we'll have the one that came before all the rest and the one that's still in the box of the end of the line. So anyway, let's see. Any other questions here? Any 70 innovation in the making? Anything you're working on, sir?
Not really. Unfortunately, like I said, I kind of stepped away from it for a little while to focus on this car thing. But you never know. Anything's possible. It's bittersweet going to a track and getting beat by this young talent. But it's good, but it's not good. So I will probably have some speed secrets I might have to whip out eventually if I decide to come back in a more permanent manner.
Yeah. How many frame extensions have you sold? Do you know?
I've probably sold 1,000 of them.
1,000 of them. That's awesome.
Yeah, they're good
How many
sellers.
axles?
Well, I could say I've probably sold between 150 and 200 of them.
You put serial numbers on those, don't you?
I started
Or you
to,
were?
and then I didn't, and then I was never gonna make any more, and then there was like 10 guys that were hounding me, so I made another batch, and they bought them, and now I've got a box sitting on the shelf with 15, 20 of them maybe, and if they go, they go. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah. Well, hopefully after tonight they go.
Maybe.
Do you think there are any 1988 Honda ATC 250R, says Max Speed Shop? Let's start with 87 ATC 250R, because that's the question. 88's like next level. You think they're out there?
No.
No.
No, I think it's all satire.
Yeah. I see the lightning over your shoulder.
I see that. It is storming out there pretty good. I'm glad the connection's holding up.
Heath Fries. Hey y'all, here out of oh, must mean South California. When you coming back to Glamis? So I went out to Glamis in March. It's amazing. If you've never been,
I
you gotta
haven't,
go.
and I want to go west. There's this cool cat, Doug Arnold, that's doing big things with 70s out there, and it's always been an open invite for me. But it's like, man, if I go out west, I'm bringing my trike with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just tough. That's a big trip.
Yeah. Yeah. I went with Tim Keister and his brother, and they had a guy, Bob, that was like the driver. He drove our machines out and we flew in. It was amazing. Got to ride with Tanner Pies.
That's
So,
cool.
yeah. Tricycles tour of Honda stuff will be longer than the Yellowstone series. I don't know what we're talking about, Andy. Keith is trying to swap a two-stroke into an ATC 70. Have you ever seen that done and successful out on the track?
I did. Dustin Bartley built a two-stroke 70. It was
Yep.
wicked cool. It was wicked fast, but it was tough to control because the power band is just unpredictable, like a four-stroke. I've seen guys do. I guess his must have been a CR80, maybe.
Mhm.
And I've seen guys stuff 250s in them. It's insane. I don't know. You got some big cojones on you if you're wheeling that thing.
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah.
Matt wants me to finish telling everyone the plan with those 4 frames at the end of the show. Okay, well, I've been building some 70s lately. I'm not racing them, even though Dan wants to get me down there. But let's see. What's the website? TJ doesn't have a website. You just got to find him on Facebook.
That's right.
Look,
Sorry.
go to Sand Mountain and Little Sahara. That's where he plays. Any other questions here? Oh, I'm frozen. Pat Wells gave away memberships to my channel, the insider videos that I make. Thank you
That's
for doing that,
cool.
Pat. You're amazing. It's mostly doc updates. I keep that special content behind a paywall. I don't want to give all my doc secrets away. Kim says Glamis was so good I flipped my lid. I broke my visor off my helmet.
Oh no.
Yep. I fell uphill. I crashed uphill somehow.
Wow.
But
Must have found a soft spot in the sand.
I did. It happened so fast. I don't know even what happened.
That helmet looks
Uh,
cooler without that visor on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I might keep it. Let's see. The table will be cool. Let's see. They're talking about my table here. My wife wants a dining room table, and I promised her I'd make one. And then eventually I said, just let's buy one. And so she started, I think we sent payment or sent a deposit, and then we found out they were kind of crappy and we got our money back. And I got money from Jeff Mahar, or I got wood, some maple from Jeff Mahar to build this table out of. And I've had it planed and jointed, and it sits in the other room just waiting for me to not have a mess in my shop.
Gonna have
What's
to
the
get
number
those.
on your race car?
101, same as the trikes.
What motor's in your race car?
It's a 2009 GSXR 600.
GSXR 600. Is that a crotch rocket motor?
Yeah, Suzuki.
Oh, wow. How fast it go?
So the series is the rules say you've got to race, you can't shift. And actually, I just found out the other day that apparently you can race in second or fourth gear. You just can't shift. But I've always been under the impression it was third gear. So and it's a 6-speed transmission. And the way it's geared, we usually average about 90 mile an hour in third gear. So I'm
Wow.
sure it could go a little quicker being a 6-speed, but
Wow. Does it sound cool? They all sound like crotch rockets running around?
oh yeah, it screams. It's very noisy.
Do you race anywhere near where I live? Anywhere near Fonda or up this way?
We may. Albany, Saratoga may be in the mix next year.
Okay.
One of my good buddies just started a tour, and I just went out to Lime Rock and did some practicing. That's out by Rochester. Um, we've been out
Yeah.
to Woodhall with it, all over New York, but typically I'm within an hour and a half of my house with it.
Okay. Well, Glenn Moulton's going to see if he can get you the invite to Bobtown. He thanks you for all you do in the community.
Sweet. I want to get down there.
Let's see. No, my wife's saying 90 on a 70. This is in his car, babe. Yeah, we're talking about cars. Okay.
Haven't gone out to Lebanon Valley, but I've been close to it.
Okay. We're down at the bottom. So let's see. What other questions? Anybody got questions? Can you put a Piranha 140 motor or a Daytona 190 in an ATC 90?
Am I answering that one?
I don't know. Anything's possible, but I don't think they bolt up.
They do not bolt up. Anything is possible, and I can tell you that I've done something similar, not a 90, but I did when I was younger try to put a 140 in a 110 frame, and I can tell you the juice is not worth the squeeze. It is a lot of custom cutting to get it to fit, and then the frames are weaker than the 70 frame.
But you can put a 110 in a 90 frame. You can put a 125M lay down motor in a 90 frame, I believe. But the 110 has the front motor mount that holds the front of the motor is different,
Right.
or something like that. Am all rebuilt 86 350X. All right, that's just a statement. Good job, Trike Power Quebec. What's the best 125 motor for an ATC 70? I don't see a lot of those.
It depends, it really all depends on what you're doing. If you're just farting around in the field, I always had good luck with a LaFon 125.
Yeah. Do they have reverse? A guy at my event had one with reverse.
Some of them do. You can
Right.
get some of them do e-start and reverse.
Yeah. Now you said it different than I'm used to hearing it. Did you say it the correct way and I'm maybe hearing it the wrong way? LaFon?
I don't know. LaFon?
I always hear
Lifen?
Lifen. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not confident in that, but
Okay.
whatever.
I like
One
it's
of
got
us
a
is
little
right.
extra pizzazz with LaFon. Sounds
LaFon.
fancy. Yeah. Depends who's making it, I guess.
Yeah.
Ordered 2 extensions today from tonight's guest, not knowing the Mad Dog Madigan.
From Montana. I don't know the guys. I can't remember his name, but I remember the state. I believe it's Montana or Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah. They go all over the country. I have sold those literally worldwide. Some in Germany, some in Canada, all over the place. I hate doing international shipping because it is such a pain to fill out that customs paperwork.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how do you
But
ship? Do you go through a website?
I do USPS. They've always been, for the most
Okay.
part, they're good. It's priority, flat rate, and there's a tracking number. It's in a little bubble mailer. And for the most part, they get it right. There's been some instances where weather's been an issue. There was a snowstorm out in Montana a month ago, and I ended up sending the guy another one. And it's just some things are unavoidable, but they've been good.
Yeah. That's great. I use Pirate Ship when I ship, like all the shirts and stuff I would ship. Like you can do it all on your computer, print a label, and the international stuff does get a little complicated because you got to like figure out codes, but it prompts you on what to do. So probably once you do one, you can save your settings.
Never heard of it. Pirate Ship.
Yeah. I won't tell you where I learned about it because you kind of alluded to him earlier and he wasn't on board with your axle.
No, he wasn't, but
Yeah.
he learned. He learned.
I got to place an order with him. He's got on a 350X. There's little seals on the brake lever, the foot brake, and I don't know where he's found them or if he's having them repopped, but he's the only place you can get them. But we won't promote him here. We're promoting you.
Well, I will
Live
say for
here.
anybody watching that I have raced 70s all over the East Coast, up and down, as far out as Iowa, and I have traveled a long way to prove a stupid point just for pride. And I will race anybody, anywhere, but I'm sick of going to them. So there's tracks right here in New York that race them weekly. So if you think you're good, come on out and I will show you if you're good.
All right. Cameron's asking me if I've made any progress on the dining room table. No, I have not. Glenn Moulton hopes you make it to Wheeler Palooza, my event.
I might shoot for that Friday. That sounds
Yeah,
fun.
it's a good time.
I
And we
know
just
it
hang out.
Yeah.
We're talking about pirate ship now. Atlanta's a mess. Boat anchors. I don't know what boat anchors is. What
I
are all
see.
these people talking about?
I see a question. Thoughts on the aluminum
Yes.
frames?
What are your
That
thoughts?
is pretty cool.
Yep.
It's I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze. I mean, I don't have a budget like that, but it
Yep.
looks awesome. And if I had a budget, I'd probably have one just to have one. I
Yeah.
mean, you can shave weight elsewhere. I don't know if it holds up like the steel does, but it is really cool to look at.
So here, let me flip my screen around. Oh, come on now.
Oh, Glenn's asking where in New York. Owego, New York, and Green, New York. There's two tracks. They race them weekly. Champion Speedway and Action Park. And if you come and message me, and I'll get my stuff together.
This box
Yeah,
is a Jean Du Sport aluminum frame
cool.
+3. So it's not for me, unfortunately. +3 out front, +3 in the rear. Because he
All
makes the
aluminum.
all aluminum and he polished it.
You're saying +3 in the. Oh, it's stretched. Okay, I thought you
Yeah.
were talking about 3 additional frames.
Oh, no. Yep. So he stretched it on the neck and he stretched it at the carrier. So
So what are you
um
doing with it?
so I did a 70 to look like my white 250R.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a guy write me on Instagram and asked if he could buy it. And I said, I appreciate your kind words, but I built it to mirror this machine, and I don't know that I could get the carbon fiber white fenders again. So I didn't want to sell it. And he said, "Will you build me one?" And I'll say this: he's got a blue check mark next to his name, so he's somebody. And so I started messaging him, and he reached out to me, and I said, "Yeah, we can do this, we can do that." And I mean, now with him making those aluminum frames and Brett Jordan making the axles, everything is add to cart to build one. You can go custom and go crazy with them. But we're gonna have some fun and build something out of that. I got a 190 in the box over there. That's why I was asking about that. I don't. It's whatever Gordon had his non-electric start one that's on his website now. So it's gonna be fun.
Have you ridden a 190 in an ATC
No,
70?
no,
Man, you're gonna love it. It's so much fun.
that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know that this guy's gonna ride it either. It's probably just gonna be a toy in the corner. But
Yeah, a lot of people do that. They buy these or they build these really nice looking machines, but and I get a little salty with them because I'm more of a racing enthusiast and I want to see people out there playing, but
yeah.
there's definitely a lot of nice builds.
Oh, and we are gonna have an ATC 70 parade at my event. So the extent of the parade, how far we can go, I might have to reach out to local law enforcement who are some of my old buddies now that maybe we can get some permission to go a little bit of a distance. Has TJ ever made a dining room table?
No, I bought one though. It's
You bought one?
okay.
Smart man.
Yeah, it's
Smart.
nice.
Kim Dwyer thinks she can outpush me. I bet she can. If anybody could, well, Jeff Mahar outpushed me. At my first event, I had fastest trike pusher, and I lost. I don't even know how that happens.
Is that one of your events? Is pusher event?
That was the first year we had fastest trike push. We've done a variety of wheelie events. The slowest wheelie started here, and then people keep asking for it. They just showed a video the other day of somebody doing a slow wheelie and putting their tire down on a bucket. So
Cool.
precision wheeling. So maybe we got to switch it up.
Have you done one where you could see who can stay on two wheels the longest, the front tire and one of the side tires?
We did a sideways wheelie barrel race last year, which was pretty tricky, and
Hmm.
it tears up the lawn quite a bit. So I
Oh,
probably
yeah.
won't be doing that. I won't be doing that again. My lawn's already screwed up because I cut like all the trees that were behind the field. We
Yeah.
cleared like 2 acres.
I remember
'Cause-
you sending me pictures of it.
Yeah. So the event has grown to the point I had to cut trees down, but they were falling down on their own anyway. When is the next time you plan on racing at Lime Rock?
I believe my series is going to be there in June and July. I'll give myself a plug. Follow my racing page, Smith Racing 101.
Okay.
All the updates will be there.
Very good. Yeah, Kim, I did clean my shop, but it doesn't stick. I don't know. Do you keep a clean shop, TJ?
I do. I love a clean shop. Sometimes I get depressed when it's filthy, and I've got
Yeah.
to take a day and sweep it out and reorganize everything.
Yeah. I thought you'd say that.
Yeah.
I like a clean shop too. I have a mental issue. Let's see. They're hiding some. So my wife and Garage MC are the bouncers in the chat section. So anybody spouting off gets removed.
Really?
Yeah. The
Huh.
bots show up. They come in waves. Did you buy the crated 250R, TJ? Was that you?
No.
No.
No, I am more of a rider, not a collector.
I'm turning into a builder now. Not really. I'm still a hack. I'm still taking shortcuts. The parade will be on Saturday. That's right. Maybe we got to do 2 parades. Parade every day. We'll call it the TJ Smith. See, on Friday we'll have the TJ Smith ATC 70 parade, and on Saturday we'll have the Greg Moulton ATC
I'm gonna have
70
to
parade.
show. I'm gonna have to show up.
I misspoke and said Greg Moulton one time, and Glenn has yet to let me forget it. Let's see what else. I've only sold. I don't know what's going on.
I see Kim asked me how I chose 101.
How did you?
I went and bought a pit bike with my wife on the very first Mother's Day that she was a mother. We drove in it was a Buick Verano sedan, a tiny sedan. We drove hours into Massachusetts for just a CRF 50. Nothing special about it. We threw it in the back with our brand new baby, and it had the number 110 on it on the front number plate, and it was just like some vinyl stickers or whatever. And I was just like, well, I can't have that guy's number, so I just switched it around to 101. And I was like, I think I'll keep this number, and if I ever win, I'll just say that's racing 101.
I love it.
And
That's
I just
perfect.
stuck with that. So that's it.
Taking everybody to school. How hard is it to get white carbon fenders? So Cameron's asking this. So they're not actual carbon fiber; they're like fake. Meyer offers that, but when it comes to any of the models fenders that Meyer makes, you have to order a certain quantity. So most Joe Blow off the street's not going to order 5 sets of 250R fenders or whatever. But every once in a while, Vinny Staffa wakes up from his cat nap and will run an order on Honda Hoarders, and he'll share it in other groups so people can get in on it. And that's the way you can get colors that aren't normally available. Or you can pony up and pay for 5 sets and then try to sell them off over time, but that's pretty spendy. He did one last fall, so it's usually once a year, and then you got to wait. If
Yeah.
it's one set, you might get them quicker. I had 350X fenders, 200X fenders, and a couple sets of 70 fenders that I don't think any of them were the same color. So it took a while for my order to come, but it's not a scam. They'll eventually show up. Let's see. All right, there's how to choose your number.
I must be
Oh,
getting these a lot quicker than you.
Well, I'm up. I'm not seeing them live, so I'm trying to go through. Are random people allowed to go to the parade? That's a prerequisite. You have to be a little random to be in the parade, but you have to be at my event, Cam. So if you'd like an invite, reach out to me on Facebook. I do kind of vet people. Random is okay. Weirdo, we could try to get rid of the weirdos. Let's see. Bigfoot Bikes and Brews. He's got a YouTube channel. Shout out JK. I heard there was going to be free beer tonight. All right, Greg Moulton just chimed in. So at my event, I've had people fly in from I forget where Jay's from, but he's out west. Pat Wells flies up from Alabama. Is that right, Pat? Scott Talbert's flown in from Oklahoma. Missouri has driven up here. Kenny, not Kenny. People from all over. It's turned into a thing, so it's pretty crazy. All ATC YouTubers in the chat right now, pretty much. Yeah, what is a Buick Verano? I've never heard of a Buick Verano.
It is like the Chevy Cavalier of Buick. It's just a small, super fuel efficient sedan. I got a lot cooler cars now. I've got some sweet stuff out there, but I still love a good Buick because they're just tried and true. Actually, we had a really nice Buick Enclave, and my wife insisted on getting rid of it for a Toyota 4Runner. And at the time, I was a little bent about it because the 4Runner was a little bit older and a little bit more miles, but it's a good truck.
And you've got a blacked out Chevy, like what, 1990 old body style?
It's an 88 1500 Sierra the first year, and it's got a heavily modified engine in it, and it is on air.
Yeah, with a 350?
358.
358 SS.
Yes, sir. I actually drove it to your house.
Okay, yeah, that's right. It was here. My dad had a 454 SS the first year they came out.
Cool. That's a sweet rig.
We had matching jackets that had like embroidered 454 SSs on the back. There's a picture of us wearing them. I look a little different though.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm back at the weird. Oh, the Red Chain Band is in the chat. He was out riding. I was out ATC riding tonight. Alabama, so I was. Ricky Color from California. That's right. We've had California here. Teddy. I'm getting messages too. I'm trying to figure out how to drive up this year. 18 hours is a haul. So I drove 13 hours and 45 minutes on Sunday. I drove my mom up from Tennessee. And I definitely would not want to drive 4 more hours after that. Straight.
Yeah, that's a long haul. When I go out to Iowa to that Battle of the Barn race, that's 16 hours one way for like 15 minutes of lap time, if that, or track time. It's a long haul.
Yeah. You went with Dan?
I took Dan out the first year, and then he had his fill, and then I took Justin, flew up from Virginia into Syracuse, and I picked him up, and then we trucked on out west, and it was a good time.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do last call on questions. I made it to the bottom of the list. We're talking about buying MRC Builds a plane ticket to come to the event, but I don't know that he'd take it. He's a homebody, I think. I'll start the group. Anyway, so yeah, last call. If you got a question for the man, but I told you we've been in here an hour and 20 minutes. It goes by fast.
That's pretty quick.
Do you have anything else you need to promote? We've talked about Smith Pro axles and 3-inch extensions and racing in your area.
No, not really. Live fast, take chances, be nice to other people.
Yeah. That's a good words to live by. I think I'll let everybody say goodbye, but I'll thank you for your time and fitting us in on this stormy evening. Was it raining when you were flagging down there?
No, we just beat it.
Awesome. I was
Yeah.
thinking about you. But Kim says thank you. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you for having me.
Is Oak Island on yet, Kim? That's a Tuesday night thing. All the guys. All right, signing off. Looking for Kim. You too, Glenn. Hopefully, we get you down to Bobtown, TJ. Words of the day. E-mind. I don't know what she's saying. Be kind. All right. Fat thumbed it. If a guy were to get into racing, what is the first thing to start with? Well,
An engine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do one.
The 7.
Do
Unless you're
140 cut
racing,
it?
unless you're racing Bobtown, then you can just go with the 70. Yeah,
Yeah.
140. I used to get chased around by Dustin Bartley all the time. He was hot on my heels. I would have a 190 pinned in 4th gear, and he would be right on my heels waiting for me to make a mistake. I just didn't make very many.
Yeah.
Yeah, those little bull ring tracks are what you look for because you can do a lot with a little.
Yeah. Awesome. There you go.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you, sir. Say hi
All
to
right,
your
have a good
family
night.
for us, and we'll
Will
catch you
do.
next time.
Okay,
All right.
bye.
Bye.